And this is the Fun Astrology podcast for Monday, June 24th. Thomas Miller coming to you for a little bit unconventional today. I'm recording this from a campground in northern New Mexico, up in the mountains of New Mexico. Been playing around up here, been on the road, and just facing the challenges of doing the podcast from a campground. It's been kind of fun. So we got it worked out. It's kind of cool. It's very cool, actually. Quite chilly last night, sleeping in the tent. But we're getting ready to head up into the mountains for a few days and getting these podcasts recorded for you so that we can look at what's going on in the stars above. There is so much energy concentrated in Cancer right now. Listen to this roster of entities that are in Cancer, dominated, governed, ruled by the moon. We have the sun, North Node, the Ascendant, Mars, and Mercury. So if you've been feeling that energy, if you've been feeling that tension, well, it's going to start letting up this week is the good part. Mercury moves out on Thursday, and Mars gets off of that aspect with the big three. See, that's the thing that's, if you've been dealing with or feeling this tension, it's mainly because Mars has been crosswise with the big three. So there's been this real pull to deal with who you are. I think that's the main thing. From what I've heard, everybody telling me that's mentioned something about this energy, it's been doing deep interpersonal stuff. And I think that's been the rubber band has been just stretched across. It's an opposite. So they're on opposite sides of the chart, 180 degrees. But it's a pull. It's a pull into transformation. It's a pull to look into that fiery part of yourself that needs some work. So there again, that's why just an extra 10 minutes sitting with your journal, being quiet, calm, collect, and asking for insights is just such a powerful thing to do with this kind of energy. Now, there's another formation that we need to talk about. I think the chart today is really, all in all, quite balanced, but there is a T-square. Remember, we had a T-square last week. Now, a T-square, if you think about it, it's planets that have square aspects to each other, and by combining them, you get a triangle, okay? So at the top of the triangle, we have the Moon and Neptune. Ooh, now that's an interesting combination because both of those go into the deep, dark areas of our soul. The Moon, our subconscious. Neptune, those deep, dark waters of our spirituality, our intuition. And by the way, Neptune is in retrograde right now, as is Jupiter, which is over on the right side of the triangle. And on the left side of the triangle, Venus. So how would we put all of that together? Well, we could be thinking of, let's just say this. If you're in a relationship or married, tiptoe around the house might be a good thing to do. Now, I think here's basically what you would look at, because two of these guys are in retrograde, Jupiter and Neptune. So my focus went to Venus on this. So Venus rules, obviously, everybody thinks of what? Relationships, correct. Venus rules the second house and the seventh house. That's relationships and money. Ooh, let's think about money related to this today. So what could happen? Well, Jupiter is in retrograde, so it's not bringing that just beautiful expansion to things. So there's a tension across the money band. Now, Jupiter is opposite Venus, okay? All the other aspects are squares, but Jupiter and Venus are opposite. And I tend to think opposites are not quite as tense as squares because opposites can attract. So it's how you choose to play with the energy. So with Jupiter in retrograde, what it's doing is causing us to go inside, to look inside, related to money. So let's maybe use this particular formation of the day to go inside and take a look at our money paradigm. Are we solid financially? Are there some changes that need to be made? What actions could we take in order to improve things? What is something that we need to learn or do in order to improve our money situation? That's how I would play with this. The moon sitting up there, it's going to bring some changes to things. So maybe a business deal changes a little bit today, or just has the potential. Or maybe, again, we mentioned this before with Jupiter being in retrograde, maybe things just don't advance as quickly as you'd like for them to. Those are all things that could come from this. The moon part will move off pretty quickly. The other two will stay there for a couple of days. So this is going to be on the books for the week for us to deal with mostly. All right, hope that helps. I think with the alignments of everything that are out there, for somebody to come along and say, let's do a money base focus for the day is kind of offbeat, but that's what I'm seeing, and so that's the way it is. Have a good one. We'll see you tomorrow from the campground in New Mexico.